Hey, how's it going? It is officially a new year as of right now, and you probably won't be able to hear it, but where I am, the kind of fireworks people like to light off is a quarter stick of dynamite. So occasionally there's a boom. I don't know how much longer it's gonna go on. It is literally like 12:01. So look at my signs, if you would. Alrighty, so I really was procrastinating getting started here. I pulled two cards. Okay, let me just move that out of the way. And the first one I pulled was from the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck, and it's the Covenant card, number 7. And the other card I pulled was from, this is what the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck looks like, if you would like to pick one up for yourself. And then I pulled another card from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. And that is the Beaver card. It is a water energy card for obvious reasons. Beaver are in large part water animals. They're not aquatic, they're not fish, but I mean, they literally live on the water. They build their dens on top of the water, and the doorway that you have to swim through. So anyway, being that it's New Year's Day now, the New Year's Day, okay, that sentence has never made a whole lot of sense to me, because like there's a possessive apostrophe in years, and when I just said it, now it is the New Year's Day. This new day belongs to the new year. There's where the apostrophe goes. Okay, now that I settled that age-old problem of mine, I would like to talk about resolutions. I don't do them. I think they're too binding, because I mean, think about it. You're like making a pledge to whomever, like yourself or the universe or your gym coach, I don't know. But you're like making an oath, kind of. So like there's the bind, because they're doomed to fail, mainly, I think. I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the idea of a fresh start. Like before I started, there was a post from a motivational site that I follow, and it said that, okay, it's the first day of a new book. All the pages, you can just write them now. And that's what's on this contract. It's just waiting to be written. I think you might have a faint actual contract at the top there. Yeah. But as you can see, the body of it has not been filled in, so that has yet to happen. Not so different. Oh, there's some... Okay, those are firecrackers. They like to shoot guns, too. Duck. I'm glad my cat, he's just been hanging out inside. We were in the other room earlier, and it was about 8 p.m. He is like kind of, there's like a little spot on my recliner where he just kind of wedges himself in. So he's like wedged into his little slot, and and I'm watching a show, and all of a sudden fireworks start going off. Not too terribly big and loud, but I recently learned that the reason why the animals, I guess, fear them or don't like them so much is because the sound literally is painful to them. So anyway, we're sitting there, and he's about to jump up and run away, and I'm like, where are you gonna go? Sit down. And just, I just had to like kind of talk him down and pet him, and he had this, I don't know how he knew to stay in. I thought I was gonna have to trap him, But he's just stayed in. It's not like if the weather's been fine, he could have gone out. I wouldn't let him on this particular day because of the noise, but hopefully it's over soon. He's being very I don't know, compliant. I don't know how he knew to be so good right now, but he is smarter than I often give him credit for. Anyway, something else that's been on my mind is for a long time, and not just like today or something, but it's the law, like the actual laws on the books that all of the Americans are subject to, supposed to be subject to, because we find all kinds of reasons to excuse people from being responsible for having, responsible for crimes they committed. And yeah, it just seems we have to stop saying that no one is above the law if there are people that are above the law. It's just, it hurts my brain. We have to fix it. And by the way, why is anyone above the law? Because they have a title. That the particular person right now that is trying very hard to climb above the law, I don't think they're going to make it. I mean, in a way they are, and in a way they aren't. I think he's going to get found guilty of things, but I don't think that his prosecution is going to be too severe. And I don't know, I've talked about this before. There's reasons to agree with that for the sake of just keeping the level of crazy down, because they don't want to inflame his followers, the MAGA people or whatever. People are already like crazy level 11, so I get it. But on the other hand, other people want that retribution, and understandably, I mean, there was a lot of things done under the guy's watch that, or even before that, just I found him personally distasteful. So, for reasons, not excuses, actual reasons. So I feel like, that being the case, that it's already hella chaotic, I think that they should prosecute them at least more severely. And I mean, they don't have to be hung from gallows out in the street or anything, but you shouldn't escape the law, especially if you've done something like attempt to overturn the country and are still talking about ways that you are gonna get rid of vital skeletal structure of the running of this country, everything that the country's supposed to be about on paper. Just, they wants to not just ball it up and throw it away and redo it, just wants to ball it up and burn it, and also burn down the trash can and the building and the person holding the trash. That's not, it's not even that it's not American, it's just that it's not, it's like death. It's like death to America, basically. The idea of it, can you imagine if we became some other place, by force, we were overturned and overtaken by that? That is a weird thought to think of, not on the level of, oh my, that's bad, that's happening to some other country. Just, if it happened here, it would be, I don't know what it would be. I think it would feel strange. I think everything leading up to it will feel strange. I think that's what it's maybe trying to lead up to, and it feels strange. It's not, I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, but I don't want to do that. And I don't think I'm the only one that feels that way. I mean, I definitely feel like we could redo some things, but I have said for years that we need to have a bloodless coup about some of the stuff here, the way we do things in this country. And that means, like, no weapons, no fighting. Like, you can be as aggressive as you want with your mouth, but keep it to that. Because stuff has to get done, you know? And I'm talking about, like, specific things that need correcting. Not, like, taking out whole agencies or, you know, like the Constitution or something like that. Without our structure and framework, we would be a mess. We don't want to get rid of those things. And not, like, especially by this person, because whatever they want to replace it with, the person is addled. The people around him are supporting an addled person, and that makes me think they're not, like, also all too perceptive about important stuff. Like, is the person you want to run the country addled? Like, that's a big deal to me. But, you know, people have their own reasons for doing things. They make agreements with perhaps entities that are not of this soil, shall we say? Yes, let's do say that. That I think that there's funny business going on under tables and behind curtains and things, out of sight. And that's how a lot of stuff gets legislated in this country, if you don't know too much about it. When stuff is getting legislated, sometimes people want to be all sneaky, and they'll do it, like, late on the Friday evening, or just late at night when, like, nobody's up but roaches. You know, it's like, why would you do that? Why would you do it when no one's awake to see you doing it? Oh, that's the reason. No one's awake to see you doing it. And we don't all pay close attention to what bills are being passed, and locally or federally. It's like, I mean, it's easy to find out those things, though. I mean, you could look at, like, broadcast news, and you're not going to really find a whole lot of it there. You'd have to scour every station, like national and local. Or you can look on the internet and just ask the question and probably come up with what you want to need to know, or what you want to know. But how do you know what you need to know? Like, you kind of have to be paying attention anyway. To dive in the middle, it's like you won't know anything going on but what's immediately now around you that you may or may not be aware of, that's, like, happening now. Stuff that caused it, that happened before. If you weren't paying attention before, you're not going to know. So it's like anything else. You have to, like, catch up, basically, if you care. But if you think things are crappy, I mean, I guess it's just, I guess I have to reiterate, I'm sort of sharing my own process as I'm going through the things that I'm talking about. So I'm not saying that anyone else should do what I'm saying. This is all intended for me to listen to. You want to listen to me? Go ahead if you dare. Think it through. I would think it through. So anyway, yeah, I feel like there's just a lot of funny business, and it's not that just there's an inkling in my mind of it. There's historically recorded incidents for, like, ever, because we just can't do stuff honestly. There's always some weak link in there that's got to be accepting bribes, or, you know, working to undermine certain purposes, and we're just grand. But it's a new year. We could do better, you know, or at least we can't, like, really expect, depend, force, make other people do stuff. We can really only, I mean, maybe if you have a kid, you know, and you kind of have to guide them. But, you know, in general, we, really can't make other people do stuff. The other people, the other we, choose to do things or not, choose to be affected by something said to us or done to us or not, or the way that we, maybe respond as opposed to react. That is up to us, the way that we do it. And we can do it the hard way or we can do it the easy way. So the hard way to me is the aggressive way. The easy way is to yield or just, try to be cooperative, basically. Not saying I always succeed, but it's a goal, not a resolution. It's a goal. So, but yeah, I mean, we agree, all of us people, on so many levels, and we don't even think about it when we're doing it. That's how you suddenly find yourself oh crap, why am I all of a sudden mixed up in this situation? It doesn't even have anything to do with me. I was just here. I don't know, maybe it was as easy as you said something and boom, you're involved, and also as easy to get the hell up and leave. Seriously, that's what you do. You either get implicated or you extricate yourself. You can do that, in most situations, unless you're in jail or something worse. But whatever, generally we can move around and do what we need to do. And it works when we're not constantly sabotaging one another, because that leads to things that those things have consequences. And I was just gonna say, we've seen what the consequences of our actions look like. So this, the odometer rolling over to 0 again, I guess is a moment to reflect. See, I've been, how it is this time of year. There's so much year-end crap, and it's oh my God, I don't need to see any of it again. I haven't forgotten. It's only been a year. Get out of here. I almost put on my sign, no year-end roundup, wrap-up, whatever. That's not happening here. It's happening everywhere else, though, and it's annoying. I was about to launch into a rant about something else, but I'm not going to do it. So, yeah. We have the opportunity. Tomorrow's, or today I should say, is an off day for just about everyone. And I don't know what people have got going. And I'm not saying that anyone should have to, I'm not suggesting that you should go in a room and meditate by yourself for 8 hours, and I'm not given a prescription. And also you can meditate while you're doing stuff too. You don't have to just be locked into a lotus position. There's your passive meditation and your active meditation. And so, but what I'm trying to get out is we have an opportunity to reflect on what do we want the year to look like, or our world around us to look like going forward? Do we want to continue with the whole everybody's divided thing? Take your pick of what slice of that you'd like to focus on, but I think that, or I hope that people know what I mean by that. And what, if you select an issue that you think can be improved, because that's what I was suggesting, what in the world do you think you can do about it? What do I think you can do about it? I don't know. The only thing really that I think, in light of what I said about us not being able to make each other really do anything unless we kind of consent to it, is just pretty pretty, like, simple things, like, same things you would tell a child that you don't want to grow up to be a stupid criminal. You know, don't do stuff that is, like, bad. Like, if someone tells you, don't eat that because it's going to make you sick, you know, and you do it anyway, well, don't escalate up into, like, worse things that you're not listening to people trying to tell you not to hurt yourself, you know, trying to advise you, not, like, control you, you know. And also, we have to be able to differentiate between the two, because in a way, I could understand someone taking offense, but, like, I can't understand taking it to the extreme, like taking it out of your offended sense in your mind to what it can become. So, I'll let you unravel that. So, the other card that I pulled is the beaver card, and I think it's pretty well known that beavers, you know, chew down the trees and build dams and their dens out of wood. And I know that this card, if I were to get the book, I'm not going to, because I've gotten this card enough to know what it says. I'm just gonna nutshell. A beaver has, like, the good energy, always, like, I'm here to help, and kind of embodies teamwork when I think about it, in the terms that I was just bringing up. But what the book says is that it's not necessarily a starter of projects, but a joiner, and that's probably what's needed going forward, as far as, like, how can you make things better? Okay, here's a way. There's lots of people giving their time, is the heater, or your money, or their money, volunteering or donating or something in some way to help people in need. And that's, like, a kind of a big missing space in our society. Like, there's not enough. The local food bank here closed. They have more or less cleaned out all the people that you could see were homeless from, like, for a while it was like Walmart was the place they were totally free to go, and then I think my town decided to start sprucing up. Well, I know they did, because they've been doing things like adding hotels. There's not a stadium or anything around here. There's a college, a tiny one, that they made a university here. It's still very small. It certainly does not need, like, 9 floors of however many rooms a motel has on a floor. So, and then, like, putting in, like, fancier sidewalks and like, the street lamps all have flower holders. It's like, what are you, like, glowing up for? Like, what's about to happen here? I'm very unsettled by it. I feel like, are they gonna open a stadium around here? Or, like, I like it because it's small. That's kind of why I moved here. I don't like these new developments. I don't know if I want to join in that, but I see a move in my future. Thank God. Anyway, so, like, maybe you can't, like, go out and racial hatred, right? But you can go and support places. There's plenty of places you could go if you want to support that particular cause. It's not hard to find something to do to help, and it doesn't mean that you have to go marching down to your local government office and start chewing up politicians, unless, like, you want to get into that whole deal. I know, it sounds like a bummer to me. So, but, you know, that's what's great about life. You got lots of choices. And if you want to help, personally, I feel like the main choice you need to make is, like, I want to help. And I feel like you gotta be kind of nice about it. Like, you know, a little bit more accepting of people, and that is, I feel like, an issue we have generally. Like, patience is hard, and I don't know why I noticed this, but I'm glad I did, because I still kind of, I don't want to say struggle, but I'm aware of it. Like, I do have to catch myself, and that is when someone else is talking, are you listening? Because I know that I can tune right out. In fact, that is why, and this wasn't recent, like I said, this has been like 3 or 4 years that I've been like, okay, I'm gonna just listen, because I noticed that when I would start saying something, I tend to be long-winded. So when I have someone answer me back, and I won't question them unless I see their eyes glazing over. So that clued me in, like, and also the fact, like, oh wait, their eyes are glazing over. So then I'll ask them, what did I might even say, what did I just say? Or I'll ask them their opinion on what I just said, and if they don't have an answer, then I'll know for sure they were not listening. And depending who it is, I may or may not jump all down their throat, not in a mean way, but just feel like, why didn't you, like, you weren't listening, like, just, I have to say something, because, like, F you, listen to me. And that's when I was like, okay, well then I have to also listen to people. But, if you can come back and address something they said in the moment, or even like 2 days later, do you know how grateful those people are that you were listening to them, that you were paying attention? I know I am. The reason why I'm long-winded is because I'm giving a full picture. That's just me. I'm descriptive. Sorry. Some people don't have time, but you don't have to ask me a bunch of questions later if you listen to me the first time, is my thing. So, I understand that it can be a struggle to get through what I'm trying to get across, but there's a point at the end of it, But, everyone wants to be listened to. It's just plain respect. Can we get back to that at least? I know it's hard. And so, look, if you can do it, that is good. I wouldn't expect everybody else to be all, I'm going to join you in your quest to pay attention. Like, don't expect that. But, I just keep going. I just keep going with it, and then eventually, sometimes there's a good result that I can notice. That's not always the case, but it takes a while for people to learn stuff. It takes a while for things to get rolling. Like, barely anything that happens is instantaneous. So, and even the bad stuff that we want to get rid of, that's not instantaneous either. So, now's the time. Like, if you want a direction like that, it's just a suggestion. Like, that's what I'm trying to do. I just started, like, moving in that direction, and I'm gonna continue. I guess if I were gonna have a resolution, that would be it. That is my intention, to keep. I want to be like one of the people that you look for when they say look for a helper. I want to be a helper to find. So, if I can inspire anyone, please join me in that. Happy New Year, and thank you, and good night.